Today we are going to talk about how to write a behavior referral on the online behavioral referral system using ASPEN. We're going to look at, again, using the online referral system to write behavior referrals. We are going to talk about clearly identifying target behaviors and identifying the where and when of the target behaviors, or the antecedent of the behavior. So why use an online referral system? The hope is that we simplify the referral process for staff and administration, and we really want to use the information being entered into the system to better provide behavioral supports in hopes of reducing problem behavior. We're hoping that by showing a new way to write behavior referrals is going to help us answer the why question, or what is the function of the behavior that's being exhibited. So looking at this is the iceberg theory of behavior, says that all behavior has meaning, and a lot of times we only look at the behavior that's on the surface and never really get to the underlying root cause of the problem. So we want to look at writing behavior referrals in a way that can help us start that process and start looking at determining the function of behavior. So these are some common discipline codes that we see: disruption of class, inappropriate physical contact, horseplay, class cuts, and tardies. So we're going to talk about a formula for how to write behavior referrals in a way that can give us more information, more specific information that'll help us lead to finding the root cause of some of these behaviors. So this is just an early look at the formula. And before we get to the parts of it, we're going to talk about target behavior. So when we're talking about defining the target behavior and writing the referral, really we just need to be very specific about what it is we're looking for. What are we seeing? So when we're identifying the target behavior should be observable. It should be measurable. The behavior should be able to be counted or timed. The behavior should be defined so clearly that a person unfamiliar with the student could recognize the behavior without any doubts. So just talking about being specific, if you look at, there's a couple examples here, and at times on behavior referrals we've seen the word aggressive be used. Well, we really need to be more specific. What exactly is the aggressive behavior? Were they hitting, kicking, biting, pinching, throwing items? So we need to be very specific and just the facts. Exactly what are they doing? The other example at times we'll see is the student is being defiant, and we need to be much more specific. There's a difference in a student just refusing or saying, no, I'm not going to go sit down, and a student screaming, no, I'm not going to go sit down, and posturing or getting in the teacher's face. So we just need to be very specific about what exactly is the behavior we're seeing. So this is just another list. The list on the left are some non-examples, or just some behaviors that are just not very specific, and we could get more information. And on the right is obviously behaviors with much more detail that give us a better idea of exactly what it is we're looking for in the behavior. Okay, so that's a little bit about target behavior. Again, just to be very specific, just the facts, and exactly what the kid is doing. Okay, so once we get to target behavior, now we're going to look at the where and when does the behavior occur. So the where would be the routine, what was the class, what's the location of the behavior happening, okay? And the when would be the triggering antecedent, like what triggered the behavior. So the when in this case is not time of day, although time of day is very important when you're figuring out patterns of behavior. This when is really more what triggers the incident, what triggered the behavior, okay? So a closer look at that. The where, routines where the problem behavior is most likely occurring. So some examples would be during math class, while transitioning in the hallway between first and second period, in gym class, during lunch, at recess, etc. Okay? So the when is the specific events or antecedents within the routine that trigger the problem behavior. So when given an independent assignment, when given corrective feedback, when asked to transition from the computer, when he loses a game, when asked to return to the desk, when asked to move seats, or when asked to stop running, and so on. So, now, this is, again, the formula, and we're going to go over a couple of examples before we plug in and use the formula. So this would be a non-example. This is a typical behavior referral that we've received, and it says, AJ cursed at staff in the hallway and was running. So if you look at that referral, what was the behavior? Well, AJ cursed and was running in the hallway. Okay, probably be a little more specific. Where was this happening? Well, it happened in the hallway. We see that. Okay, could probably be a little more specific. But then what was the when? Well, that's looking at that. We're unable to answer that with this referral. So if we take a look at this referral, so this would be an example of what it would look like in ASPEN if we were writing a referral now. It says during transition in the hallway, then between first and second, when given a prompt about following hallway expectations, AJ said F you to staff and began running through the halls. So, with that referral, we're able to answer the questions. What is the behavior? What is the behavior? Well, the student said F you to staff and was running through the halls. Where did it happen? It happened in the hallway between first and second period. And when did it happen? Well, it was when he was given a prompt to follow hallway expectations. So if we back up and we look at the referral, we can break it down a little bit. From a behavior standpoint, that gives me a little more information and something to go on. If I'm an administrator or a teacher, I can look at that referral and says, okay, during transition in the hallway between first and second period. Well, I might need to stand out in the hallway between first and second period and take a look and see what's going on in the environment during that time. When given a prompt about following hallway expectations, well, we might need to target how we are giving corrective feedback to students and to AJ specifically. So just looking at the referral, I'm able to get a little more information and at least start asking the right questions about why the behavior happened or what led up to the behavior happening. So it gives me a little more information. Okay, so here's another example. Michael refused to do work and flipped a desk. So what was the behavior? Well, Michael refused to do work and he flipped a desk. Where did it happen? Well, we're not sure. We're not sure. Probably in class, not sure. And when? So with that referral, we don't know what was the trigger, what was the antecedent prior to the behavior. So if we looked at it this way, in math class, when he was given an independent math activity, Michael ripped up his paper and flipped his desk. So that meets the formula. What's the behavior? He ripped up his paper and flipped his desk. It was during math class, and it was when he was given an independent math activity. So from a behavior standpoint, looking at the referral, if I was starting to see a pattern of behavior in math class or in any academic class, and it was when things started happening during independent work time, that would be a good starting point for us to talk about some intervention and looking to change the behavior with some other supports during that time. So again, that meets the criteria. So why so much detail? Those were a couple quick examples. So again, finding the function of the behavior, answering the why question is sometimes the million-dollar question. So by providing specifics about the target behavior and the antecedent prior to the behavior, our hope is that we're going to be better equipped to start answering that question of why. And that determining the function of the behavior is going to allow us to decrease or potentially even eliminate the target behavior. So appreciate your time. I am Jeffrey Wright at knoxschools.org if you need any further support. Thank you.